This may be the greatest joke that Konami has ever played. Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode for the April 1st ban list, yes, April Fools, we have gotten, that's right, no bans. Forbidden and limited list, am I right? Ha! Not here, not on Master Duel. Here's the thing. I expected nothing. I expected so little, and I was so much more disappointed. Let's talk about it. Okay, first and foremost, this card was semi-limited. Cool. This card was unlimited. Cool. These cards were all limited. Okay, we'll talk about that in a second. Where are the bans? Konami, where are the bans? There's very, very many cards that need bans, or at the very least, should be looked at as ban-worthy. In fact, there should be more of them. Where are the bans? Nowhere. Here's what we did instead. We limited Dracotail Lucius, Dracotail Rahu. Cool. Those are good hits. I won't say too much about that. Stake your soul. This does nothing. This changes nothing. Why did we do this? What does this accomplish? What? Judgment, strike, and a warning. I cannot express to you how much I despise this hit. For two reasons. One, these are not the issues with man. If we are trying to limit Odeon, or the Apophis deck, the Solemn cards aren't the solution. They can be frustrating. I'm not going to say that they're not frustrating to play against from time to time. But the reason man gets to play the way that it does is because of the Dominus cards and because of the Primate cards. And because of man. The Solemn cards are just additional negations. They happen to be the best ones in the trap variety. The problem that I have personally with man and with Odeon are things like Solemn Judgment, Primate Drill Beam, Baron, Dominus Impulse. Actually, just those. Also, just the sheer amount of negation that they employ, and the fact that they get to do that off of, like, one field spell. Realistically, if you actually thought that Odeon was a problem, or was frustrating to play against, we would see things like Super Polymerization limited, or banned. We would see the Solemn cards banned, not limited. Guess what? If I'm playing against Odeon, I'm still going to see Solemns every once in a while, and it's just going to be more frustrating, because now I know that they're at 1. And as an Odeon player, I'm probably not going to notice it all that much, because I have 9 other negation effects that also are very strong. So, cool. Who cares? Sure. Do you know what's silly about this? That these cards got limited, but you know what didn't? Red Reboot. A card that's been seeing a lot of play in a lot of different Duelist Cups, and outside of the Duelist Cups. And yet it still seems to not receive any sort of limitation, or banning, or anything else of that nature. Why? Because Konami has a vendetta against trap cards. One of their coolest, most dynamic mechanics. That is one of the reasons why Yu-Gi-Oh! Is here today, because trap cards work vastly differently from, I don't know, instants or quick plays or whatever other style of fast action card like would be in Magic or in other games. I couldn't think of another one. Trap cards are iconic in Yu-Gi-Oh! And yet Konami, in modern era, refuses to interact with them. They, in fact, make it almost impossible for you to play any sort of trap cards. If you look at the difference between the MST archetype, the Radiant Typhoon archetype, and the Call of the Haunted archetype, it's night and day. Konami doesn't like trap cards. I don't know why. They're really iconic. They're really cool. But okay, cool. Moving on. Cups of Yummy. Limited to 1. Does nothing. This is a placebo hit at best. Because the thing is, most of the decks were not playing all of the yummies. Most of them were playing one Lollipo. Now you just add 2 more, and nothing changes. Theoretically, stuff changes, but realistically, it doesn't. They still get to do all of the top-end stuff. They still get to do all the Mitsu and Sulfur and all of that jazz, right? On top of that, the main issue that I personally have had with Yummy is the fact that almost any archetype, or a myriad of archetypes, have the ability to make a Link 1, make a level 1, and then just do the whole Cupsy, or the whole Yummy line because of Cupsy Yummy Way. An actual problematic card, because it searches out 2 Yummies. You could just search this card. Not to mention things like Piri Ray or Small World, or Small World's a bad example, but mostly Piri Ray, right? As well as a bunch of other cards. There's a ton of ways to get access to this card. Not to mention, well, yes, being able to play into Droll matters. This deck already played into Droll with this card, or with a bunch of other cards. It's not like it's changing much in that aspect. Theoretically, it matters. Realistically, it doesn't. This is another placebo hit. And that's the problem that I've had with this ban list. It doesn't actually change anything. It's just a placebo ban list. Even prayers is not really going to change much. Because here's the thing. If you are playing Mitsu, yes, the 1 prayers will matter. But you know who it's not going to matter for? The other player. If you see prayers, if you search prayers, if you play into prayers, or play around prayers, or what have you, it doesn't matter, because guess what? If it shows up, it's still going to be frustrating. You still have access to it. You still get to be able to set it. You still get to be able to search it. You still get to be able to use it on the first turn, or on the second turn, or what have you. You can recycle this card. It's not like any of the Mitsu cards are just dead in the water once they activate them. No, you can still add it back to your hand. You can use it multiple times. It's not like it's gone. Theoretically, it's a good hit. Realistically, it's not going to do anything. It's going to be a placebo hit. Do you know what really needed hits? Habakiri. Or access to it at the very least. While this is technically a limitation to that, the actual limitation didn't change. Because guess what? We still have access to multiple Habakiri. We still have access to a myriad of ways of searching it. I saw in the Duelist Cup people normal summoning Lamia, a card that literally just says search Habakiri at this point. And still, we're just doing the whole line. Just normal summon it. Go into Habakiri. That's all that matters, right? And while this technically changes that, it really doesn't, right? And that's why this ban list is so frustrating. I would have been happier had we gotten like 2 changes and just had a nothing ban list, because at the very least it would have looked like Konami wasn't doing anything. This looks like Konami tried and just failed miserably to understand their own game. It's baffling how we got to here. It's baffling how we have decided to call the Forbidden and Limited list the Forbidden and Limited list, because clearly we're not going to ban anything. Clearly all of the problems are fine at 1. It's just you'll see them less often, right? Surely that's the issue, right? And not the fact that they are incredibly searchable most of the time. It's frustrating. It's just stupid. It's dumb decision after dumb decision when it comes to ban lists and releases and all of that jazz. And it's baffling to see that they still refuse to actually hit problematic cards. Maxi, Pachycephalo, Shifter, etc. There's a ton of cards that deserve limitations more harsh than 1 copy. And yet, they don't. Anyway. Happy April Fools, everyone. Stay frosty. Bye-bye.